Is hunting wagon a good investment in Red Dead Online? That's the question we are going to answer today. You see, I had this feeling all the time that it's more effective to provide creeps with materials when we're gonna hunt using our horse rather than hunting wagon, because hunting wagon is slow, clumsy, it's gonna break sometimes, and it's not really effective in some areas, in the mountains and in a forest, for example. I even included the hunting wagon in my list of the items that I regret buying in Red Dead Online, and actually under this video I had many comments where people are saying that I am wrong and hunting wagon is a good investment because it's very useful for hunting. So that's exactly what we are going to test today. First, let me make it clear, I know that hunting wagon can be used as a wallet. So for example, you are riding around and you're spotting many perfect animals, so you kill them all, you call your hunting wagon, of course if you are close to the road, you place these perfect animal carcasses in the wagon, and then you come back to traveling with your horse. You're spending 2 extra minutes, but you gaining few perfect carcasses that you can use anytime you want. So let me explain why I still included hunting wagon in the list of the bad purchases. First problem with this method is my personal. It just feels too unnatural to me. You know, this hunting wagon coming out of nowhere without a driver, and even worse, when you dismissing it, it just disappears in the air and then you have to repeat it when you're at your camp. It just feels too grindy, unnatural, and it breaks the atmosphere of the game. But that's only my personal issue, it's not gonna be an argument for anyone. But there is another problem. You see, when I'm saying bad investment, I'm of course talking to a new player, so just players who have a little money. If you are a veteran of this game, if you're like level 300 and you have $20,000, it's of course not applies to you, because you can buy whatever you want, it doesn't matter, you're not gonna regret it. It's even useful for you to buy all this stuff, because for a second at least you're gonna feel like this game has a purpose and you grinded all this money for some reason, which is probably not true, but still. On the other hand, if you are a new player and you don't have a lot of money yet, you want to be sure that anything that you are buying is gonna be useful and gonna give you something in return. And for example, if you are buying trader wagon or metal detector, you can be sure that you're gonna earn a lot of money with help of it pretty soon. Or if you're buying rolling block rifle, you're gonna get big advantage in PvE, PvP and stuff like that, so that's also a great investment. I mean, I'm not quite sure whether a new player will get back his $900 that he has to spend on a hunting wagon, because you know, this situation where you can use it as a wallet are definitely profitable, but you have to spend some extra time, and the most important, they not gonna occur too often, because first you have to be close to the road, second you have to spot at least 2 perfect animals to justify this action. In addition, you have to already have a carcass on your horse, and you have to be far from your camp, which, if you are grinding materials, makes no sense, because one of the most effective ways to grind materials, as I'm gonna show you later in the test, is just to hunt in the closest to your camp areas, even if the animal spawns are mediocre. And before we continue with the actual testing, there are a few points that I have to mention. So first one, you can save predator spells in the hunting wagon, because in some days there will be challenge to give creeps free predator pelts. And yes, I agree with that, but you know what, this challenge is not gonna be super often, so spending $900 to earn 0.5 gold bars once in a week is not a great investment in my opinion, but again, for high level players it's of course the reason. And the second point is that if you are playing on a console and you have no animals at all, you can start a bounty hunter mission and hunt there, and then you can find 5 perfect animals, stock them in a hunting wagon, and later you will have something to give your creeps in the camp. And with that I agree 100%, it's just I'm not playing on a console at the moment partly because I had terrible animal spawns, and even after some fixes they are still not good. Another argument for a hunting wagon: if you're gonna get disconnected or some random griefer will decide to blow you with a dynamite arrow, you will lose nothing. Your pelts and carcasses will still be fine. Yes, it's absolutely true, but personally I don't have too many disconnects, I'm not getting attacked by griefers too often, and I don't make this, long run hunting trips when you are riding all across the map gathering pelts and carcasses and stuff like that. So for me it doesn't matter, but if you have a lot of disconnects, then yes, you definitely should think about buying the hunting wagon. And I'm pretty glad to tell you that we finally can see the test results, because I've made a lot of these tests and spent quite a lot of time. Anyway, first challenge between horse and the hunting wagon is just a pure quantity. So we're riding around the camp, killing animals, never ruining the pelt quality, just to make sure that conditions are close to the real hunt. But all we care about is quantity, so we don't care about the quality too much. The main reason is just to get 8 big carcasses as soon as it possible. First of all, I've made this test in the Great Plains. It took 13 minutes 30 seconds when we were hunting with the horse and grabbing the second carcass with the lasso, and it's a pretty decent result considering that the average price for the carcass was around $6, so we earned around $50 in materials. With the hunting wagon it took 10 minutes 25 seconds in the same area to gather 8 carcasses. Then I repeated the same test but in a hard lance. On the horse I've managed to gather 8 big carcasses in 13 minutes and 37 seconds. Hunting wagon won again with 10 minutes and 21 seconds. And it's kinda obvious that when we don't care about the quality too much and all we care about is quantity, hunting wagon is a great choice. But what if we have to focus on quality, as we should when we farming materials? Maybe in this case horse will be preferable, since we will be able to travel between perfect animal spawns faster. To find that out, I've made another test, and this time rules were closer to the real farming, so I had to just farm materials until I'm gonna get materials for $100, which is fully fills the material scale at the camp. So I was just riding around in the Greater Plains, hunting and calculating the total amount of materials in my head. Anyway, after 24 minutes and 15 seconds using the horse, I've managed to gather materials for $89.13, and then I stopped the test. So I was farming materials for $4.04 per minute. Spawns were pretty decent, by the way. I haven't spotted any perfect cougar or something, but a few perfect deers. I've actually expected to see such numbers. In my calculations, I'm assuming that it takes around 60 minutes on average to fully provide creeps with materials, enough for him to craft 100 goods. Of course, with the good spawns you can do it faster, but if you have some problems, for example you are playing on a console, it can take more time. Hunting wagon results were surprising to me. It took 33 minutes 9 seconds to craft materials for $101.70. It equals to $3.08 per minute, and that's a much worse result than we had in a previous test when we were farming only with a horse. The difference is pretty big, and I can think of two reasons why. First of all, I guess I was less lucky with the spawns, but second is more important. I guess that when we are looking for perfect animals, we have to travel through longer distances, and with horse is much easier. Because wagon is much slower, I've tested it in one of my previous videos, and even more important, it's not available to ride anywhere where horse can. Actually, during this test I even broke this hunting wagon once. I had to restart the testing, of course, but still, if you're not paying attention, you can easily break the wagon. wagon and you're gonna lose a lot of time. Also, I have to mention that hunting with painted black ability card is kinda harder when you're using a hunting wagon because the animals are starting to run around from you on a bigger distances. At least I had this feeling, but on the other hand you always can hunt with the sniper rifles and there will be no difference at all. Anyway, I was surprised that hunting wagon lost so much in this competition, so I've asked other people from a Russian language Discord to repeat the same test, and here is the result they got. Daredevil had a good spawn and with the horse he filled the materials in 16 minutes, but with the wagon in 20 minutes. Nakuman had a mediocre spawn and for horse it took 23 minutes, while with the wagon he spent 43 minutes in the same location. And Zaur has perfect spawn and with horse he filled materials fully in only 11 minutes and 30 seconds, while with the wagon it took 17 minutes. So as you can see, all the data collected proves that if you are going to farm the materials just by hunting around our camp, horse is way more effective than the wagon. Also I have to mention that the worse spawns you have, the bigger difference between the horse and the hunting wagon will be. I've also decided to test the effectiveness of grinding with a hunting wagon when we are using this one of the most hardcore grinding strategies. I mean, killing sleeping cougar in tall trees. I'm pretty sure that you all familiar with the algorithm. We go to tall trees, kill the first sleeping cougar, placing the carcass on our horse, then we call in our hunting wagon, placing hunting wagon close to the spawn, and then we go away. We wait until the cougar will respawn, killing it again and again and again, until we have full hunting wagon of cougars. Sometimes, just like it happened to me during this particular test, there also will be spawns of perfect deers or rams, so we can grab them too. This test showed that time between the moments when we are placing the dead cougar into the wagon is 3 minutes, but not all the cougars are perfect. From my experience, around 1/3 of the cougars are 2-star. I don't know, maybe you had the same results, please tell me in the comments if you use this method ever. I had such results. So the perfect cougar will cost $17 if we are giving it to the creeps, and the 2-star cougar will cost only $8. Anyway, during this ride I got 3 perfect cougars, 2 2-star cougars and 1 perfect ram, and it equals to $75.28, and I've spent around 18 minutes to do so. It includes 12 minutes between cougar spawns, 2 minutes that I've spent on a road from my camp to the spawn and back, and also 4 minutes for selling the materials, calling hunting wagon twice and horse once. And it's kinda interesting because this farming method grants us only $4.18 per minute. And compare it to the method where I was just riding around my camp with a horse, not spotting any perfect cougar, where I made $4 per minute. So even this extremely boring and grindy method of farming materials with a hunting wagon is not much more effective than just riding around your camp on your horse. And hunting animal, of course. I guess it's time for conclusion now. Hunting wagon is a kind of weird tool. I mean, if you're going to use it as you're supposed to, just for pure hunting, it's not effective at all. But on the other hand, it can be used pretty effectively to fix some of the big game problems, like often disconnects, griefer attacks, empty lobbies without any animal spawnings, or cases like when you came to your camp but there is no camp. Anyway, if you are a new player and you don't have much money, I still don't recommend you to buy hunting wagon, because it will take a lot of time to earn this money back. There are much better investments for new players. But if you have enough money and you struggle from some of the problems I've mentioned before, and you probably do because most of the players are struggling from one of these problems, then you can make your life a bit easier with help of hunting wagon. Please let me know in the comments what do you think about my arguments, tests and about hunting wagon in general. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and you will find it useful. As always, thank you for watching, спасибо, до свидания.